All right, welcome to The Explainer. If you're a marketing apprentice, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say there's that one skill. It feels like the final boss, right? It's all about proving your work actually delivers results. Well, today we're handing you the cheat codes.
So let's meet Jody. She's a level 6 marketing manager apprentice over at IBIS Stores, and she is absolutely brilliant. But like so many of us, she's run smack into a wall.
So what's the big challenge? It's all about this thing called Skill 8. Sounds kind of formal, right? Deliver measurable outcomes and drive continuous improvement. Phew, that's a mouthful. But really, it all boils down to one simple, crucial thing. Can you prove that what you do actually makes a difference? We're gonna follow her journey and see exactly how she cracks it.
Okay, first things first. Before you can master something, you have to understand it, right? So Jody's first move is to get some clarity. She sets up a meeting with her line manager, Riddle, to ask, hey, what does delivering outcomes actually look like here at IBS Stores?
And Riddle just hits the nail on the head. She says, look, Jody, this isn't about just being busy and ticking off tasks. It's about showing that our marketing creates real, tangible value. We have to measure what matters. It's about connecting every single thing we do back to a business goal. That's how we show the marketing budget is an investment, not just some cost. So here's the big secret about Skill 8. It's not a one-time thing. It's a loop, a cycle that never really stops. Think of it like this. You set your goals, your KPIs. Then you watch how things are going. You monitor the performance. Then you dig into the data to figure out why things are happening the way they are. And based on that, you tweak your strategy to get better results. And then, you guessed it, you do it all over again. All right, so Jody's got the what and the why locked down, but that's just the theory, right? Now she needs the how. Like, how do you actually do this day in and day out? To get that practical game plan, she connects with her mentor, Adam. And Adam gives her this piece of advice that is just a total game changer. He tells her to stop thinking about Skill 8 as this one giant, scary mountain you have to climb. Instead, he says, let's break it down into a series of simple, repeatable steps you can weave right into your daily work. So Adam lays out this super clear 6-step plan. It all starts with setting SMART KPIs. You've probably heard of these: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. From there, it's pretty logical. You monitor, you analyze, you look for places you can do better. But, and this is key, the real magic happens in those last 2 steps, where you're not just fixing problems, but you're actively driving improvement and even challenging the way things have always been done. Okay, so Jody's on a roll. She's putting these steps into practice. But there's another piece to this puzzle, a really important one. She has to prove it. It's not enough to just do the work. She has to document it for her portfolio on APTEM. So, how does she do that? For this, she turns to her coach, Olivia. And Olivia's advice is gold. She basically says, your job is to create a trail of evidence. You're collecting artifacts that tell a story. And this can be all sorts of things. We're talking screenshots from Google Analytics that show your KPIs, your own written thoughts on how a campaign did, or maybe a quick before and after comparison for a project you tweaked. Even the document you wrote out proposing a new process, that's perfect evidence. And this table is so important because it gets you inside the assessor's head. See, they don't just want to see a KPI report. They want to know, okay, but how does this KPI actually connect to what the business is trying to achieve? They don't just want to read your analysis, they want to see the exact moment you use data to make a decision. It's all about connecting the dots between your evidence, your actions, and the result. So, all this hard work, understanding the skill, building those daily habits, collecting all that evidence, it's all building up to one thing: the endpoint assessment, the EPA. This is the big one. And Olivia's next job is to get Jody prepped for the kind of tough, on-the-spot questions she's going to face. And here's a perfect example of a question they might ask. Describe a time you identified an underperforming marketing process, and so on. Now notice what they're doing here. They're not asking you to define a term from a textbook. No way. They're asking for a story. This one question is cleverly designed to see if you can talk through the entire cycle, from spotting a problem all the way to measuring the result of your fix. And this right here, this slide, shows you the difference between a good answer and a great one. The basic answer is, fine. Yeah, our open rates were low, I changed the subject lines, it worked. Okay, but the excellent answer? It uses the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. It paints a picture. Our campaign had a 10% open rate. Bam, data. My task was to get that up. Clear goal. I looked at the data, saw mobile was the issue, so I made the subject line shorter, specific action. And the result? The open rate jumped to 18% in 2 weeks, which I tracked on my dashboard. See? It's a complete story, backed by data. That's how you knock the MPA out of the park.
So let's step back for a second. Jody started with this one huge, confusing skill that felt totally overwhelming. And now she has one clear, confident path to success.
I mean, what a transformation, right? By leaning on her team, her manager, her mentor, her coach, Jody took this thing that was just a box-ticking exercise and turned it into a genuine strength. She gets the cycle, she's got the steps, she knows exactly how to prove her work, and she is ready to walk into that assessment and own it.
So you've seen how Jody did it. Now it's your turn. The main takeaway from all this is that mastering continuous improvement isn't about making some massive, heroic change overnight. It all starts with one small, measurable improvement. Just one. So my question to you is, what's the first thing you're going to measure and improve this week?